Look at somebody next to you and tell them, I don't need applause to make progress. Some of you talk too much about what you're about to do. You announce it, you post it, you explain it, but you haven't built it. Stop advertising your vision and start protecting it. Because when you're really chosen, when you're really focused, when you're really working, you don't make noise, you make moves. And tonight I came to tell somebody, do the work in silence and let the results make the sound. There is power in privacy. There is strength in silence. There is discipline in disappearing. Some of you are frustrated because nobody sees your grind. Nobody is clapping. Nobody is validating you. But can I tell you something? Seeds grow underground. While people are sleeping on you, while they doubt you, while they scroll past you, you're building something they won't understand until it's finished. You don't need attention. You need alignment. You don't need validation. You need vision. You don't need approval. You need focus, because the loudest person in the room is usually the weakest one. When you know who you are, when you know where you're going, you don't argue, you don't announce, you don't explain. You work. Silence protects your vision in ways noise never can. When you speak too early about what you are building, you expose something fragile to opinions that were never assigned to shape it. A vision is delicate in its beginning stages. It is like a spark, powerful enough to start a fire, but small enough to be blown out by the wrong breath. And everybody around you does not carry oxygen. Some people carry wind. That is why you cannot announce everything God whispered to you in private. Some dreams are meant to be developed, not discussed. When you move in silence, you remove unnecessary pressure. The moment you tell the world what you are about to do, you feel obligated to perform for their expectations. You start working to impress instead of working to improve. You begin adjusting your pace to satisfy spectators instead of aligning yourself with purpose. Silence frees you from that weight. It allows you to fail privately, learn quietly, and grow steadily without the spotlight magnifying every misstep. Not everybody clapping for you wants you to win. Some people applaud just to keep you comfortable. Some people praise you so they can monitor you. Some people ask about your plans not because they care, but because they compare. When you guard your vision, you guard your peace. And peace is fuel for productivity. The less you explain yourself, the more energy you have to execute. There is also power in mystery. When you talk less, you observe more. You see who supports you without needing details. You notice who believes in you without constant updates. You learn who is genuinely aligned with your growth and who is addicted to your announcements. Silence sharpens your discernment. It teaches you that validation is not confirmation. Just because people like your idea does not mean they are equipped to handle your elevation. When you protect your vision, you give it room to mature. You allow it to evolve without interference. Ideas shift, strategies refine, goals stretch. But when you declare everything publicly, pride can trap you into defending a version of the plan that no longer fits your growth. Silence gives you flexibility. It allows you to pivot without explaining your every move. And let's be honest, sometimes the biggest threat to your dream is your own mouth. The more you talk about it, the more you feel like you've already accomplished it. You get dopamine from discussion instead of discipline. You feel productive because you spoke it, not because you built it. But talking is not doing. Announcing is not achieving. Posting is not progressing. When you truly understand the weight of your calling, you stop broadcasting and start building. You become less interested in being seen and more committed to becoming prepared. You realize that real power does not shout. It stands firm. It moves with intention. It grows roots before it grows branches. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. It is the discipline to let your work mature before the world measures it. It is the confidence to know that when the time comes, you will not need to introduce your success. It will introduce itself. Focus is your superpower in a world engineered to break it. Every notification, every opinion, every comparison is fighting for your attention because attention is currency. Wherever your focus goes, your energy flows. And wherever your energy flows, something grows. The question is not whether you are powerful. The question is what you are empowering with your focus. Distraction is subtle. It doesn't always look like chaos. Sometimes it looks like opportunity. Sometimes it looks like scrolling just for a minute. Sometimes it looks like responding to drama that has nothing to do with your destiny. But every time you entertain what is irrelevant, you postpone what is important. Destiny does not disappear in one dramatic decision. It erodes in small, unfocused moments. When you lack focus, you start reacting instead of building. You answer every text immediately. You defend yourself against every rumor. You explain yourself to people who were never committed to understanding you. You jump from idea to idea because something new feels exciting. But excitement is not progress. Movement is not advancement. Being busy is not the same as being effective. Focus requires sacrifice. You cannot chase every trend and still build something timeless. You cannot attend every invitation and still master your craft. You cannot argue with everyone who misunderstands you and still protect your peace. Focus forces you to say no, not because you are arrogant, but because you are aligned. It demands that you prioritize long-term purpose over short-term pleasure. The truth is distraction is the enemy of depth, and depth is where greatness lives. Surface-level effort produces surface-level results. But when you lock in, when you give something your undivided attention, when you remove the noise and commit to mastery, you separate yourself from the crowd. Most people quit mentally before they ever quit physically. Their body is present, but their mind is scattered. Focus pulls your mind back into the room. It centers you. It strengthens you. There will always be someone doing something louder than you, someone gaining attention faster than you, someone appearing to rise quicker than you. If you measure your progress against everyone else, your focus will fracture. Comparison divides your energy. Instead of building your lane, you start watching theirs. And the moment you start watching theirs, you drift out of yours. Focus also builds resilience. When you are locked into your purpose, setbacks don't shake you the same way. Criticism does not derail you. Delays do not discourage you. Because you are not chasing applause, you are chasing alignment. You understand that distractions are tests. They are opportunities to prove whether you truly want what you say you want. Your mind is your greatest asset, but it must be trained. It must be guarded. It must be disciplined. When you learn to control your attention, you control your direction. When you control your direction, you control your destiny. Focus is not about doing more things. It is about doing the right things consistently. It is about waking up every day and choosing purpose over popularity, progress over praise, growth over gossip. When your focus becomes intentional, your results become inevitable. Discipline over attention, that is where real transformation begins. Attention is loud. It is immediate. It feels good. It feeds the ego and strokes the insecurity at the same time. When people notice you, when they praise you, when they comment on your moves, there is a rush that makes you feel significant. But significance built on applause is unstable, because the same crowd that cheers today can go silent tomorrow. Discipline does not clap for you. Discipline does not trend. Discipline does not announce itself. It wakes you up when you do not feel like moving. It pushes you when motivation disappears. It keeps you committed long after the excitement fades. Attention feels like progress, but discipline produces it. The danger of chasing attention is that it shifts your focus from becoming better to being seen. You start crafting your life for an audience instead of for alignment. You measure your growth by reactions instead of results. You post more than you practice. You speak more than you study. You show more than you build. And slowly, without realizing it, you become addicted to visibility instead of committed to development. Discipline is quiet and repetitive. It is showing up on the days nobody is watching. It is practicing when there is no performance scheduled. It is refining your craft when there is no camera, no stage, no spotlight. It is choosing the gym over comfort, the book over entertainment, the plan over impulse. It is consistency when your feelings are inconsistent. Attention will reward you for what looks impressive. Discipline will reward you for what actually improves you. Attention might give you a moment, Discipline gives you momentum, and momentum is what separates those who start from those who finish. When you choose discipline, you delay gratification. You understand that what feels good now might cost you later. You realize that shortcuts create short-lived success. Discipline teaches you patience. It strengthens your character. It trains your mind to value structure over spontaneity when necessary. It builds habits that carry you when emotions cannot. There will be moments when nobody acknowledges your effort. Nobody comments on your grind. Nobody sees the sacrifices you are making behind closed doors. That is where discipline becomes your anchor. Because if you only move when people are watching, you will stop when they stop watching. But when discipline drives you, your standard does not change based on the size of the audience. Attention is external. Discipline is internal. One depends on others. The other depends on you. And when you master yourself, you are no longer controlled by the noise of the crowd. You do not rise because they cheer. You rise because you are committed. You are not shaken because they ignore you. You are steady because your foundation is built on routine and resolve. In the end, attention fades. Trends shift, crowds move on, but discipline compounds. Every small, consistent action builds strength. Every repeated effort sharpens skill. Every disciplined day creates a stronger tomorrow. When you choose discipline over attention, you are not just chasing success. You are becoming someone capable of sustaining it. Let the results speak. There comes a time when explanations become unnecessary. When the work has been done, when the nights have been long, when the discipline has been consistent, you will not have to defend yourself. You will not have to argue with doubters. You will not have to convince critics, because results carry a voice that is louder than any debate. Too many people spend their energy trying to prove something with words. They argue on social media. They defend themselves in conversations that lead nowhere. They try to correct every misunderstanding, but arguments rarely change minds. Achievement does. Success answers questions that explanations never could. When your results show up, they silence rooms you once tried to speak into. There is a different kind of confidence that comes from knowing you did the work. It is quiet. It is steady. It does not panic when someone questions you. It does not rush to respond to negativity, because deep down, you know what you have built. You know the hours you invested. You know the discipline you maintained. And when, you do not need to announce. Talking feels powerful in the moment. It feels like you are standing your ground, but often the strongest position is restraint. The strongest response is progress. When people underestimate you, instead of correcting them, let time reveal the truth. When people doubt you, instead of debating them, let your consistency expose your capability. Results create credibility. Words create impressions. Impressions fade. Credibility remains. Anyone can speak confidently about what they plan to do. Anyone can promise greatness. Anyone can describe their vision. But results demonstrate commitment. They show that you were not just inspired, you were disciplined. They prove that you were not just motivated, you were consistent. When you focus on producing results, you redirect your energy. Instead of defending your name, you develop your skill. Instead of fighting for validation, you refine your craft. Instead of explaining your journey, you strengthen your foundation. And slowly, steadily, what once needed justification becomes undeniable. There will be moments when silence feels uncomfortable, when you want to respond, when you want to tell your side of the story, when you want to correct assumptions. But patience is powerful. Time has a way of revealing effort. The same people who questioned you will one day reference you. The same voices that criticize will one day quiet down, not because you convinced them, but because your results confronted them. Results also build self-respect. When you achieve through effort, you trust yourself more. You know you can rely on your discipline. You know you can execute under pressure. That internal confidence is stronger than external applause. It anchors you, it steadies you. In the end, noise fades, opinions shift, conversations change, but tangible outcomes remain. Let your growth speak. Let your progress testify. Let your transformation communicate. You do not need to win every argument. You only need to win in execution. And when execution becomes your language, success becomes your introduction. Growth requires isolation, not because you hate people, not because you think you are better than anyone, but because elevation demands separation. You cannot evolve while clinging to environments that are comfortable but unproductive. You cannot transform while staying accessible to everything that drains you. Sometimes the very thing that feels lonely is the very thing that is shaping you. Isolation is not punishment, it is preparation. It is the season where distractions are reduced and clarity is increased. When you step back from constant noise, you begin to hear your own thoughts again. You start recognizing what truly matters. You see which relationships fuel you and which ones exhaust you. Distance reveals truth. Many people fear isolation because they associate it with rejection. They think if they are alone, they must be unwanted. But growth does not always happen in crowds. A seed does not grow in front of an audience. It grows underground, unseen, surrounded by pressure. And that pressure does not destroy it, it develops it. In the same way, isolation can feel heavy, but it is strengthening roots that will later support visible success. When you are constantly surrounded by opinions, it becomes difficult to identify your own voice. You start adopting other people's expectations. You begin adjusting your pace to fit their comfort. You shrink your ambition so it does not intimidate anyone. Isolation removes those pressures. It gives you the space to rediscover your standards. It allows you to set boundaries without apology. There is also a discipline formed in solitude. When nobody is around to push you, you must push yourself. When nobody is checking on your progress, you must hold yourself accountable. When nobody is applauding your effort, you must motivate yourself to continue. That builds internal strength. It creates self-reliance. It develops maturity. Isolation tests your intentions. Are you working for approval or for purpose? Are you building because you are called to it or because you want to be seen doing it? When the audience disappears and you are left alone with your goals, your true commitment is revealed. And if you keep going in that quiet space, you prove that your dedication is real. Not everyone can go with you to the next level. Some people are assigned to a chapter, not the whole story. Holding on to every connection can slow down your progress. Sometimes separation is necessary for elevation. That does not mean resentment. It means recognition. You understand that different seasons require different circles. In isolation, you sharpen your focus. You refine your craft. You confront your weaknesses. You strengthen your mindset. You build habits without interference. And when the season of visibility returns, you show up prepared, not pressured. Growth in isolation creates confidence crowds cannot provide. Because you know you built yourself when nobody was watching. You know you endured when nobody was encouraging. You know you developed discipline when nobody was demanding it. That kind of growth is unshakeable. It is not dependent on popularity. It is rooted in preparation. Isolation is not the end of connection. It is the beginning of transformation, and transformation requires space to breathe, to stretch, and to become. Self-development before spotlight is the foundation of lasting success. Everybody wants to be seen, but not everybody is prepared to sustain what comes with being seen. The spotlight magnifies everything. It magnifies your strengths, but it also exposes your weaknesses. If you chase visibility before you build stability, the very platform you prayed for can become the pressure that breaks you. Before the world celebrates you, you must confront you. You must examine your habits, your mindset, your discipline, your emotional maturity. Talent may open doors, but character keeps them open. Skill may attract attention, but integrity sustains influence. If you develop your craft, but neglect your character, success will feel heavy instead of fulfilling. Self-development requires honesty. It demands that you acknowledge where you lack consistency. It forces you to face procrastination, insecurity, fear, and ego. It is easier to post achievements than to admit flaws. It is easier to perform publicly than to correct yourself privately. But private correction produces public confidence. When you work on yourself behind the scenes, you step into opportunities prepared instead of pretending. The spotlight can be intoxicating. Praise can distort perspective. If you have not mastered humility and discipline before recognition arrives, you may start believing your own hype. Growth keeps you grounded. It reminds you that there is always another level. It shifts your focus from proving yourself to improving yourself. When you prioritize self-development, you strengthen your mind. You train it to handle criticism without crumbling. You teach it to process pressure without panicking. You build resilience so that setbacks do not define you. Without mental strength, even small challenges feel overwhelming. With it, even large obstacles become manageable. You also develop emotional control. Success brings opinions, expectations, and sometimes envy. If you are not emotionally disciplined, you will react instead of respond. You will allow distractions to pull you off course. But when you have invested in your growth, you become steady. You learn to pause. You learn to evaluate. You learn to move strategically rather than impulsively. Self-development is not glamorous. It happens in routine. It happens in study. It happens in repetition. It happens in the decision to wake up earlier, to practice longer, to read instead of scroll, to reflect instead of blame. It is built day by day, choice by choice. It is invisible at first, but it compounds over time. Before the world sees you win, you must build the capacity to carry what you are asking for. Influence requires responsibility. Success requires structure. Opportunity requires readiness. If you skip preparation, you risk collapsing under the weight of your own elevation. When you develop yourself first, the spotlight becomes a platform instead of a pressure. You stand on it with confidence because you know you earned it. You walk into rooms without intimidation because you prepared in private. You remain steady when attention increases because your identity is not rooted in applause. Self-development ensures that when visibility arrives, it does not change you. It reveals the work you already did. And now, I want you to hear me clearly. This is the moment where the crowd stops, the noise fades, and your soul listens. You don't need validation. You don't need applause. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone. Do the work in silence. Protect your vision. Build your character. Strengthen your focus. Grow when nobody is watching. Because when you are ready, when you are prepared, when you have done what others wouldn't, your results will speak louder than any words ever could. Let your life be your microphone. Let your success be your voice. Boom.